right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our special guest speaker series for Women United, our focus on brilliance and strength in women leaders in our community in the Capital Region. I am really excited to be here today with a friend and colleague here, Bobbie Wooten. And Bobbie, could you introduce yourself and share a little bit about yourself to our audience today?
Yes, ma'am. First off, thank you guys so much, Miss Emily, for selecting me to be a part of this wonderful panel interview. It's an honor and I greatly appreciate it. Yes, like she said, my name is Bobbie Wooten. I am the president and founder of Feed Sacramento Homeless. It is a grassroots organization. You know, we've been around for 7 years, putting work in the community. We have fed, I'm sure, well over 50,000 people, you know, and provided resources for them as well, meaning clothes, hygiene, um, companionship, you know, that goes a long way as well. But any necessities that you would need to live in your home on a daily basis, those are the resources and things that we provide for the unhoused members in our community, as well as the low income and underserved members in our community, you know, because it's just everybody needs help sometimes, you know, and people need people. Even though we don't operate like that or not as much as we should, but that is one of the goals of Feed Sacramento Homeless as well. So, Feed Sacramento Homeless, who are we? We are a grassroots organization who truly cares about the community, who wants people from the community to get involved so we can do work for the greater good of all.
I love it. And I love following along on Facebook and seeing all the direct outreach events and seeing how everybody comes together at your outreach events, and then all the other things that you do throughout the year. Like you said, the toy drive. And then I know you also do an annual talent show. So
Yes,
that gives
yes.
people a chance to get involved, and it's a good fundraiser, and it's a really good feel good community network building event. So you do a really great job reaching folks at all the different levels and getting people involved. And I think you do a really great job about letting people know that it's really easy to get involved and help the homeless and the unhoused that you see in your neighborhoods. You can you can get involved and volunteer with groups like yourselves, and
Right.
you kind of bridge that gap and make it more accessible. And I think you open it up and you show people that you can treat them with dignity and respect. And we're just out here serving our neighbors. They're part of our
Yes.
community.
Look, they truly are our friends on the streets when it's said and done. Like you said, Miss
Mhm.
Emily, they're a part of our community. Um, they're not going to go anywhere, you know, as many wish that they would. You know,
Mhm.
there's really no way to avoid the unhoused,
Yeah.
especially with the way the economy is, you know, and coronavirus, you know, COVID-19 hitting and everything. It's a far more of an epidemic than it's ever been before. But we were able to feed 1,000 people a week, from August to December, you know, and it was one of the best things in the world, right? Um, and everything mounts to, if people are hungry, they can't figure out the next step. How
Mhm.
can you? It can't, you know, being homeless, there's layers to it. It's like an onion.
Mhm.
It's gonna hurt your eyes. It's gonna make you cry. There's gonna be, you know, some bumps in the road. But we have to understand that we have to start with that first layer for these members, the unhoused members in the community, in order to get them to the point where they will become self-sufficient. You
Mhm.
see, and sometimes that truly starts with recognition of them as being equal to you and I. You
Yeah.
know, that's why I go back to companionship, um, fellowship. You know, it's bigger than a meal and hygiene products. Everybody, um,
Yeah, your events kind of
it
feel
just
like I want to say like a family reunion, because I've been out volunteering a couple times, and I just love how your staff and your volunteers really treat
yes,
everybody like they're automatically part of what's going on and welcome them to the table, and that you see them, you respect them, and you treat them with
yes.
dignity.
So it's about being diverse. It's about
Mhm.
helping just helping people, you guys.
Meeting
So
them
I
where
guess,
they're at. You're going right
yeah,
out to where
yes,
the
ma'am.
services are needed, like you said, and breaking down those barriers and making it really accessible to unhoused and underserved folks to have access to
Mhm.
these things. I love it.
Perfectly stated. Thank you, Miss Emily.
Yeah,
Yes,
of
but that's
course.
so that makes me happy, you know,
Mhm.
that in a couple of months we were able to partner with so many different organizations to do something that is definitely needed for the community.
Yeah.
So
Good.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
why
that
we like to recognize you as a local, woman leader, as a powerhouse here who's literally out there doing the work consistently for over 7 years. And we all have families and we all have responsibilities, and
yeah,
you're just out there so consistently with your whole heart, bridging gaps and building communities. And it's been really wonderful to see, especially, I mean, even just before COVID, but building the coalition that you built before, and then just the COVID grants you were able to get, and
yes.
maintaining your, the monthly outreach events every month for all these years in each North and South Sacramento, and doing the community building and all of that stuff on top of it. So,
Well, you guys, honestly, it all of that couldn't be done if I didn't have a great team behind me. Okay. I I will I have to I always go through this with my staff. You
yeah.
know, I understand that I gave birth, so to say, to Feed Sacramento Homeless. And I will work harder at accepting that. But the real truth behind it is I have a team, I have volunteers that are so dedicated. They believe in the mission. They understand why it needs to be done. So their passion is equal to my passion. Once again, women united, when we do that, there's nothing we can't, there's not a thing that we cannot accomplish. And
Hmm.
that's what I admire about us as women, you know,
Yeah.
especially when you have people, when you have women that respect one another, you know, um, and I don't know how many people know, and if I should even say this, but Emily, you're one of you are one of my best board members. You are one of my greatest friends. I won't lie.
It's an honor
And
working alongside of you and being your
it's
friend, Bobbie. You inspire me all
it's
the time.
beautiful. And as thank you. I hear that and I appreciate that. But you do the same for me. People,
Mhm.
I mean, it's you look like we talked the other day. We're the
Yeah.
total opposites, but
I love it.
together we accomplish so many things,
Hmm.
and it's all about respect and
Yep.
understanding. And that's what we have, and that's what I continue to try to create with the other women that add on to our team.
That is the truth. That is the truth. And I know, and I
Yes,
just love seeing how we all inspire each other and lift each other up. And it's
yes.
been so good to be part of this community as well. And I'm so glad we get to honor you for this. So I have some questions I want to ask you
Okay.
too. So I'm going to dive in and
Yes.
have you share a little bit more about yourself here. So I was going to ask you just a general question. What do you enjoy about your life?
Honestly, more than anything, I just enjoy living. To
Mhm.
be, I mean, I don't know if I said this already, but I had a car accident about 16 years ago, almost died. And to be here is beautiful in itself. You
Mhm.
know, um, I enjoy I like being around people who have great attitudes. I
Yeah.
enjoy seeing people smile. I enjoy making people laugh. I totally enjoy watching anything that my children do.
Mhm.
Family is one of the biggest things for me. Um, and I guess that even goes into my background, my history. I was a foster child.
Mhm.
I had been in the system for a while, and even though family was still always around, um, I there was ties that were not as strong, or
Right.
maybe I felt like I didn't have. and not because my family wasn't trying, just because of being a foster child. That
Right.
label does something to you mentally, you know. So once again, my life experiences have led me to a point where I can't do anything but appreciate the little things in life.
So since we, support foster youth aging out of the system, what advice would you give us in supporting foster youth or at-risk youth, or just advice to kids that are in the foster system?
Honestly, and I'm gonna read a little bit here because I
Sure.
did think about that question. Okay, so you
Mhm.
guys forgive, but foster youth aging out of the system, they really need support and services until they're about 21, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Um, and it may sound ridiculous, but like I said before, many foster youth, they don't have ties to the community, and if you're
Mhm.
there until you're 18, there's a good chance that family wasn't around, or
Mhm.
was there's not a good relationship. Um, so without any support, and nowhere stable to go, like you said, with that garbage bag at 18, and you're not even all the way mature at 18, right? You've gone through the system trying to figure out who you are, why you're there, who doesn't love you, and all these other things. And now
Mhm.
you're an adult at 18, you probably fully haven't gotten all those issues resolved, and now you have to figure out how to go make it on your own.
Mhm.
That leaves a lot of boys and girls in a bad situation, so of course we end up with homelessness, we end up with prostitution, we end up with people selling drugs, we end up with people becoming sex slaves. So
Mhm.
for me, it's kind of piggies back off of what you say. They definitely need an account set up. um so my advice is to create an extension of care.
Yeah.
Okay, after kind of like when men and women are getting out of prison, they go to a
Mhm.
halfway house. You see,
Mhm.
because people understand they still need um, some of those services so they can make sure they're fully self-sufficient when they are all on their own when they get back into society.
Mhm.
Okay, so that would include share housing, classes, workshops for budgeting,
Mhm.
how to pay bills, communication on and off the job, how to keep a job once you get the job,
Yeah.
right? Because
Mhm.
these are the little things that are not being taught in school anymore,
Mhm.
right? Home economics, because when you're in a foster home or group home, you don't cook for yourself. You don't understand about measurements and different things like that. So we have to take it back to the basics. If
Right.
we want these foster youth that are aging out to truly be successful, they need a little more care, right?
Mhm.
You have to follow your gut, no matter what people are telling you, even if they're a staff member,
Yeah.
okay? Because you have to understand and you have to know that you really do have the power. Even though you are in the system, you
Mhm.
have the power to make a change for yourself. You
Yeah.
see, so don't allow for you to be, don't allow yourself to be so naive, or allow yourself to want love or want to fit in so much that you
Mhm.
truly are sacrificing who you are as an individual, and then you do miss out on those opportunities, or you allow yourself to fall behind the curve,
Yeah.
right? Because you're trying to stick up. I mean, stand out with it, with the in crowd, or the people that they you feel are more popular. You know,
Mhm.
you you figure out who you are, no matter, or stay true to who you are no matter what's going on. No,
Right.
but I don't care what somebody says. Stay true to yourself.
Right.
Okay? And
Right.
trust that feeling in your gut, because it will not steer you wrong. And
Mhm.
that's what I have to say to foster children in the system, aging out of the system,
Mhm.
you know, um, and
Trust
it's like
themselves, love
trust
themselves,
themselves.
advocate for themselves.
And know that your current your circumstances will not define who you become when you
Right.
get out of that system. Okay. Because, like I said earlier, I never thought I would be an individual who was providing services for the unhoused members in Sacramento. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
I just thought I would just be a mom who loved on her children and, made sure that they went to college. But
Yeah.
as we know, there's a higher spirit. I don't, God, Buddha, whoever it is for you, they have a plan,
Yeah.
and no matter how much we try to steer away from that or don't want to open our eyes to it and see it, it's going to come for you,
Yeah.
and you have to be ready to embrace it. And so, once again, know that your current situation will not define who you become.
Nice.
And
I
that's
love
what I
it.
have to say.
I love it. Well, we're getting close to the end of our time. So there is one last question I want to ask you, and kind of tagging on what you were already saying and about how you didn't expect your life to go the way it is. And here you are from where you started. What is the legacy that you would like to leave behind, Bobbie?
I
I know
think
it's a
the
big
biggest,
question.
I know, right? The biggest thing is I want people to know that honestly, my legacy started when I became a mother. When I was 17 years old, I had my first child. Um, when I turned 23, 5.5 years later, I had my second child. At 35, 12 years later, I had my third baby. That's when my legacy truly began because I made a decision to become a mother. And that meant that I had to provide, make sacrifices, and give all that I have to make sure those three children turn out to be the best productive citizens, members of this community possible.
Mhm.
Okay. In addition to that, I mean, I guess I just want people to know that I am somebody who truly cares. um I'm genuine. I love the community. I am one that will work for the greater good of all, and
Yeah.
I that's truly what my legacy needs to be, because I believe with that, and my children being how they are, everything else is going to fall into place.
And I love when new people meet you. So it's again, I'm really happy to be able to have this platform to introduce you to our audience and
Thank
to the
you.
Women United group. And we really thank you for your time today and sharing your personal story and your insights and your personal story, like I said, with foster youth and your advice for the future foster youth here aging out of the system. So thank you so much, Bobbie. We'll put a
Thank you,
tag
Emily.
to your social media channels, but you can find her on Facebook and Instagram
Oh,
at Feed
yes.
Sacramento Homeless. Like she said, all of the events and everything are there.
Yes.
And anything else you'd like to say to our audience before we go?
Besides that, you guys, I thank you all so much. Like she said, follow us on Facebook. Our email is feedsacramentohomeless@gmail.com. I'm a very, very approachable person. And if you guys want clarity, information, or if you want to donate, thank you so much, you guys.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate you tuning in for this special segment. Have a great rest of your day.